Hey kiddies, it's Terrible Triple Feature time again as we go over my 33rd birthday marathon.
Why don't we do some boogie boogie?
That's right, I made it through another year on the planet Earth, so we're celebrating in the traditional fashion, which is I have a lot of friends over and they can't say no to the movies I want to watch. Oh, it would be so cruel to abuse this power, which, I haven't yet, but someday I will grow drunk on the power and I will force them to watch all of the horrible things they would never want to see, like Extra and Human Centipede and Revenge of the Fallen and all sorts of things. But I haven't yet, and I'm not going to this year either. This year we're going to do, I'm feeling some cult classics, so I'm going to do Six String Samurai UHF and then a to be announced. Oh, Six String Samurai, Lance Mangia's love letter to 80s martial arts action movies and insanity. Starring Jeffrey Falcon as Buddy, a hard rockin' samurai warrior who's on a mission. You see, Elvis has died, and now Las Vegas needs a new king, and who better than Buddy with his six string and his samurai sword? Unfortunately, there are many other contenders for the title that are standing in between him and the crown, not the least of which is Death, in this film represented by Slash from Guns N' Roses. No, it's not actually Slash, but man, if it doesn't look like him, just, scarier. I never stop loving this film. It's just a good time. Everything is fun. All the action sequences are great. The martial arts is just really entertaining and choreographed really well. It almost looks as if the plan was Jeffrey Falcon runs at something and does things, but it works every time. And there's all sorts of other random things, like the Red Elvises appear, the Russian rockabilly band. They provide a lot of the music in the film. The rest of it is composed by Brian Tyler. This is the first film he did, and he's an up-and-coming film music composer that I really like. He did Children of Dune, Bubba Hotep, Constantine. More recently, he did the Iron Man 3 music, which was the only one of the Iron Man movies where I actually remembered the music. He'll actually also be doing the Avengers #2, Age of Ultron, in a couple years, so that's all sorts of fun stuff. Next up, we have that seminal classic, UHF, starring Weird Al as basically Al, who gets a dreamer who gets put in charge of a failing UHF station and turns it completely around with an insane lineup of television shows, not the least of which is Stanley Spadowski's Clubhouse, featuring Michael Cosmo Kramer Richards as Stanley Spadowski. Also making appearances are Fran Drescher, Kevin McCarthy, and Victoria Jackson from Saturday Night Live. I absolutely adore this film. I am a big Weird Al Yankovic fan. He was actually the first concert I ever went to at the tender age of 18. And it really just plays like a movie in which Weird Al got to write the stuff. He didn't direct it. It was directed by Jay Levy, his manager. It's just a hell of a good time, and it didn't really find its audience back in 1989. It was going to be the movie that saved Orion because it did so well with the test audiences. Unfortunately, in the summer of 1999, a couple other movies came out that kind of drew the attention away from Weird Al and his goofy little cult movie, including Ghostbusters 2, Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, Lethal Weapon 2, License to Kill, When Harry Met Sally, Weekend at Bernie's, and Batman. So we don't necessarily blame the movie for not setting the world on fire strictly on its merits, but it is a damn shame. Because it would have been fun with Weird Al as a bankable movie star, and so we would have had more Weird Al movies. As a result, we'll just have to settle for awesome album after awesome album. Finally, we got to be announced. I've narrowed it down to three choices. We're either going to do Mallrats, Kevin Smith's second movie, which I adore, not the least of which because I'm from Jersey and spent a lot of time in New Jersey malls. But I think it's just a lot of fun. The whole plot is crazy. It's got distinct characters. It's silly. It's fun. It never takes itself too seriously. Here's my cat Lucius joining us for a second. Yeah. I don't think Shannon Doherty is terribly annoying, or at the very least not as annoying as either Jason or Jeremy London. I can never remember which one it was playing T.S. Quinn. And it's also the movie that gave us Jason Lee, and I think that's definitely a net gain from the movie, no matter how much you dislike it. And it also features Stan Lee playing Stan Lee, not as a cameo in a movie based on a comic book he used to write, but as the arch bushman Stan Lee. Giving life advice to Jason Lee towards the end of the film. Really, really funny. Or we might watch The Adventures of Buckaroo Banzai Across the Eighth Dimension. My God, what a movie. The first time I saw it was at a Star Trek convention with my dad, and it remains one of the weirdest things I've ever seen. Peter Weller stars as the Renaissance man, Buckaroo Banzai, basically a jack of all trades science-wise, primarily a neurosurgeon and also frontman for the Hong Kong Cavaliers, made up of his brain trust, who are also scientists and musicians, featuring Clancy Brown and Jeff Goldblum. It's just so much fun. There's all sorts of crazy Jamaican aliens and ridiculousness. And John Lithgow in probably my favorite role he's ever done. Definitely my favorite performance of his playing an alien. As fun as Third Rock from the Sun was, this is better. Or, I just might say the hell with it and we're going to watch Pacific Rim again. Because Pacific Rim, people, are there any of you out there that haven't watched this movie yet? It's going to really bother me with all of the promoting I've done for the film, and you people haven't even watched it yet. It's just, it's insulting at this point. But anyway, that's what I'm going to be doing on my birthday. Well, not my actual birthday, but the Saturday after my birthday, and it's going to be a hell of a lot of fun. Pizza, booze, and bad movies. Basically everything I like. So that's going to be a great time, and I'll see you guys next week.